recording. So, Chema, what did you just say?
What?
What did you just say?
I said that all gloves are off. Gonna go off today. And I decided to I took off my pants before we started recording.
I,
So
I am
you
concerned.
know that I am not bothered. I'm going in like when I was working in the pandemic, like I'm just flying just completely I would say off the seat of my pants, but no pants. So
Get pants.
what's up, man? How you
Uh,
been?
no, okay. So I feel like we should make something very clear before we do the intro, ladies and gentlemen. Actually, you know what? You just reminded me of a meme that I saw earlier today. It
Yeah,
was a picture of the Birds of Prey, the
you
Marvels,
froze.
and then Madame Webb, right? And it was a picture of like the female-led like cast and stuff. And it
Yeah.
said, worst superhero movies. The worst superhero movies have something in common, and I wonder what it could be. So to the dude who made this, and to the dude to the people, mostly men, if we're being honest, that actually think that, just so we're clear where we stand, fuck you. Just
Yeah, fuck you.
right here, right here is where you can stick it. Right
Yeah,
here.
they can't see that, but you are obviously flicking them off, and I'm going to match you and W. So, there we
Fair
go.
enough.
There we go. So, yeah, I think it's gonna be very clear. I don't know if y'all saw the Chris Stuckman video that came out about Madame Web. I think he pretty much said everything that we all wanted to say. Um, and he said it very directly. Like, if you want to hear someone trash the movie and say that is the worst movie and like it's a shame to superhero movies, go watch someone else. That's not what you're here for. Like, I think we have both always been uh try to be honest here and be prevalent and be fans, but also like we can spot shit like from miles away.
Yeah.
And we're not gonna sit here and be like, oh, this ruined my child. Fuck your childhood. Like it. First of all, it didn't. Like we're just gonna talk about what we thought and what we think and what we think the actual problem is. With I think we both stand on the same side of that. So yeah, if you come here to just hear, if you want to hear someone be sexist, go watch fucking. There's a billion good dudes on the internet that do that. You're not gonna get that here. So
Well,
yeah,
also,
that's it.
I don't understand why they're like Mountain Whip sucks because it was directed by a woman and it stars women. So Morbius sucked. Was it because it was directed by a man and stars men, or what? Like,
You're
you know what I'm saying? Like, let's match energy here. Let's be clear. This film, it's we're not going to be blaming any of the actors or actresses. Like Dakota Johnson, Sydney Sweeney are solid actresses in their own right. Mr. Tahar Rahim is Golden Globe nominated. We have talent in front of the screen. And I'd argue CJ Clarkson, the director, she's been a part of some great television shows, being the director for episodes. I'm gonna go ahead on record and say like this was not her fault. I think because this is her film debut, she was hamstrung by the studio, and she unfortunately this was her directorial debut. But I don't think it's her fault. I think she was
believe me,
all orders.
Believe me, by the time I tell you something very interesting about the production of this, you're gonna be really upset at the studio.
Oh,
That's
I
the real
get
villain here.
um
And believe me, like dude, I'm wearing Sony headphones. Like there's a PS5 behind me connected to my Sony TV. Like am I the problem? Am I the problem? Like did some of my money went into making this movie? I don't know. But like, look,
shit.
I don't know, man. We'll get to it. Just tell me to hit the intro.
Chema, hit the intro.
Thank you for welcoming us into your headphones. My name is Chema,
I'm Eddie.
reviewing Madame. Wait,
What?
can we start over? Wait. I had a bit for this. I had a bit for
Yo,
this.
I'm keeping this, but keep going.
But reviewing Madame Web, and this is the rollback. Madame Cobweb of Lies is a movie directed by S.J. Clarkson. Her web connects them all. Forced to confront revelations about her past, paramedic Cassandra Webb forges her relationship with three young women destined for powerful futures if they can all survive a deadly present. This is the new uh, Sony Spider-Man character universe movie starring Dakota Johnson, Sydney Sweeney, Isabella Merced, Celeste O'Connor, Tahir Rahim, Adam Scott, and Emma Roberts. And this is the new movie that starts in this weird chronology that spans Venom, Venom 2, Let There Be Carnage, Morbius, and now this. In a year where the MCU and the DCU decided to rest, the MCU is only releasing one movie this year. DCU is taking a break. It's just releasing the Joker sequel later in the year. Somehow we're gonna get 3 of these Sony movies this year. We're gonna get this, Kraven the Hunter, and then Venom 3 at the end of the year.
We're getting Venom 3
Which
this year?
we're getting Venom 3 this year, yes.
Hey, so
Um,
a spotlight at the end of the tunnel.
yeah, so we have Madame Web, and it's good that we're talking about Venom because I think Venom was a hit because it was a hit at the box office because people know who Venom is. Like even people that don't know everything about Spider-Man know, like, oh, like Spider-Man fights Venom. That's obvious. Like we all know it. And
Sorry, go ahead, go ahead.
and the problem is that Sony saw that and we're like, well, obviously these are all gonna be hits. People don't know what a Morbius is, and people don't know what a Madame Web is. So I don't want to say this was dead on arrival, but it had a long hill to climb up, you know?
I want to go on record and saying this. I think the reason why Venom succeeded is not just name recognition, but also the fact that it was a stupid, fun movie with great comedy, great action sequences, a bitchin' song from Eminem. I think Venom was great because of multiple factors, specifically the chemistry. I use that word very lightly, chemistry between Tom
Yeah.
Hardy and Tom Hardy. Uh,
Yeah. You know
so
what? It was weird because like I've rewatched the first Venom and I don't like it. Like I think the first one is not like I
really,
don't love it. But then I was rewatching the second one, and for like the first half, I was like, this fucking sucks. And then like the second half, I was really enjoying myself, and then it ended, and I was like, what a stupid fucking movie. I'm gonna watch it again. And then, but it's like it's I don't know. It's just it just like it makes me I don't I hate to say this, but it's like, man, it's a Venom movie. Like it could have been like I think of the potential and I go like, yeah. And potential is something that I want to start with. I want you to focus on me for what I'm about to tell you because I don't know if you're aware of this, okay? Do you know what S.J. Clarkson's original pitch for this movie was? Don't look it up. Just
no.
you know. Okay. Don't look it up. Here we go. Her pitch to Sony was okay, so we do Terminator with Madame Web. And there's this guy who is somehow like attached to like the Spider-Man energy, like the Spider-Man mythos, but he turns rogue. So he goes back, he finds the woman who's gonna give birth to Peter Parker and is gonna kill her. And so Madame Web gets activated. She summons 3 Spider Women to join her to stop this man from killing the woman that's gonna give birth to the future Spider-Man. Because if she dies, her universe like has no Spider-Man, and the whole movie was gonna be them chasing this guy to stop him and saving a young like a yet unborn Peter Parker.
Uh-huh.
That was the original pitch for this movie. And Sony saw that and was like, sure, have all this budget. And then they were like, we have some notes, and they gave us this shit.
So fuck it. I'm gonna do the shameless plug now, ladies and gentlemen. I saw Madam Web on Friday. Right, I had the
Yeah.
unfortunate task of watching this film on Friday. Um, and by Sunday afternoon, I had the rewrite completed. I completely wrote the whole fucking film in less than 36 hours. Bear in mind, like this was like sparingly, like I had 10 minutes. I was like, what if they did this instead of this? Sparingly here and there. Well, what if it was instead of 3 Spider Women, it was 1 because 3 is too many? Like, what if we did this? What like just reworking the whole fucking plot to make more sense and give us stakes and make Dakota Johnson's character likable. Again, like we said earlier, none of this is going on the actors or the actresses. I'm sorry. Strictly on the characters. Cassie Webb is not a likable character. But let's pull it back real quick. On YouTube, go watch Rewritten Madam Web because I guarantee you, my version of this film kicks the shit out of this version of this film. Also, though, I do want to talk about your point that you said that about Venom and they're like everything will work. I think Morbius could have worked with a better story. And I pitched that to you, like, well, what if it was like this and this? That could have worked. I think there is a world where Madame Web could have worked if it was done better. Like, that's the unfortunate truth of the matter.
Yeah, my big thing with this is that why is it so afraid or embarrassed to be a Spider-Man story? Because like they refuse to say Spider-Man, they refuse to say Peter Parker, they refuse to say all this. And there's a lot of very weird things about this movie, like a lot of very off things. Um
I
between
wonder.
like line reads and effects and quotes and did you notice that every time that Tahir Rahim would talk, he sounded overdubbed?
Yes, dude, in the movie,
Yeah,
I noticed it like the first time I told Nikki, watch his lips and watch what he says. And she was like, I see it. Like you could see the dubbing wasn't even good enough to cover his mouth to the words. Like that's how bad that overlay was. You know what that screams? They couldn't, like, they streamlined the story because look at some of his lines. We have to find them, otherwise they'll stop me, and I can't have that happen. Like the most generic, like that's like kid show levels of writing. And I mean that in a bad way, not like we need to dumb it down. I'm talking like the level of simplicity in this story. It hurts. It hurts.
yeah.
And I think this film is bogged down by so many things. Let's start from the fucking beginning. I don't know what angered me more. Well, what
Mhm.
got me more? Like annoyed. And again, not at the actresses, not at the director, but we start off in 1973 in Peru with this woman trying to find this spider that can cure diseases. She gets shot, and then we get indigenous Spider-Man.
Oh yeah, played by my tocayo, played by the very Mexican Jose Maria Yaspic. Yes.
I fucking hated that. I hated it so goddamn much. Like really,
Why?
it no, and again, not on him, but like really, like that's where we're going with this. Like you can't have Spider-Man in this. So you're gonna have an indigenous people in Peru paint themselves red, covered with black vines, and save her. Like really? And then I don't know, man. Like it just to me, that's like, oh, we're in for one of these. This is gonna suck, isn't it? It's like it reminds me of how in the Halle Berry Catwoman movie, where like she's in her Catwoman costume and she like drinks milk from a bowl. Like,
Oh yeah.
really? Like, is that the direction we're going with this? Because I'm not down. Not down. No, not. Mm-mm.
Yeah. So
It,
look, I think our approach to this is going to be a little different because look, I'm not going to say that I hated this movie because I don't have it in my heart to hate shit anymore. Like I I don't have the time, I don't have the energy. The last time I hated a movie was Napoleon last year, and you saw what we did. So, but my problem here is the studio, and my problem is that, and I'm not gonna sit here and be like, this movie fucking sucks. Like, weirdly enough, the fact that this movie is like slowly becoming like a campy thing, and people are going to the theater to see just how bad is this? I mean, it's getting people to the theater. Am I gonna hate that? Am I gonna be upset at that?
I hate that.
I left this movie thinking like that kind of sucked, but I wasn't upset. I wasn't angry. I wasn't in a bad mood. Like Napoleon left me in a bad mood. This was like that kind of sucked. Let's watch that shit again, you know?
May
Like,
I may I retort with two things real
yeah,
quick?
yeah, 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 go ahead.
So this movie angers me not because I'm super loyal to Spider-Man. I'm not.
Yeah,
Like
you're
I
not.
think I genuinely think I like Miles Morales more than Peter Parker. Like I'm not. If this was a Batman film, we'd have a very fucking different review. But that said, I have no loyalty to the character. I think this movie angers me more for one because I see what it could have been. Because the pitch of a Terminator superhero film sounds fucking awesome. So there's that. There's a wasted potential. Two, this is the kind of comic book film, and I understand people are gonna say it's just a movie. Here's the thing. This is the kind of comic book film that is borderline, if not is embarrassing. It's that level of depravity. It's like the Katie Vick storyline in WWE. That storyline made you almost like embarrassed to be a wrestling fan. Like, I love wrestling, but this happened too. Like, I love Spider-Man, but we have this hunk of shit. Like, it's I don't. And the thing is I don't want this movie to make money because you know what that sends? The message? Huh,
Mhm.
they're watching it. Make more. But continue to
Yeah.
put the most minimum of efforts.
Yeah, it's gonna be a problem. You know what's the real waste, I think, for this movie? You know what's the real shame of this movie?
What?
That they made three absolutely wonderful, different looking spider suits that fit the body type and personality of these three actresses, and they just used them twice
Yeah.
for very minimal scenes.
I think maybe
Like
30 seconds in the whole film, like combined,
maybe 30 to 45 seconds
if
in
that.
the whole film. Like you have three really good actresses, Sydney Sweeney, Isabella Merced, and Celeste O'Connor, like who have been in pretty cool stuff. Celeste O'Connor, she was in the Ghostbusters, she was in Freaky. She's been in stuff, and she's slowly like getting into stuff. Isabella Merced has been in great things like Instant Family, and I really like her in the Dora movie. I thought she fucking killed it.
Oh my God,
Uh,
yeah, she
she's
was in the Dora film.
she's gonna be Hawk Girl for the DCE universe. Uh,
Hey, we gotta win.
yeah, she's gonna be in the next John Green film. She's gonna be in Turtles All the Way Down. She's gonna be The Last of Us season 2. Like she's an actress that's slowly building up a really good resume, and this was a good way to go. Sydney Sweeney, we just talked about her in the Anyone But You review, and she was great in Euphoria. So you have three very different looking actresses who could, you could have very easily done like, oh, let's just get three of the same. And, no, they all look very different. Their spider suits look different. Their powers are different. Let's make suits that reflect their personality and who they are and that look really cool. Okay. Sydney Sweeney spoke specifically about how she looked up comic book panels of her character and she saw like her character like kind of like swinging like upside down, and she demanded, she was like to the filmmaker, she was like, please put me in a position like that, like let me swing upside down, like I want to reflect that. You can
Yeah.
see that there's a passion there, and you do show that for 30 seconds in a movie that's like it's not 2 hours, but
It's
like
just under 2 hours. It's
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 a
an hour and 56 minutes.
yeah,
Incredible.
like it's just like what a waste.
I think that goes to like the fundamentals of filmmaking where it's like and again, all this is on the studio, but
Yeah.
how the fuck are you gonna give us three unique Spider Women and never give them their powers or let us see them do their thing? It's like giving us a Spider-Man movie, but he only puts on the costume at the very end right before credits and you never see him using his powers. Like,
And look,
why?
there's a way to do it. There's the Power Rangers movie that came out in 2016. A lot of people criticize it that they only suited up in like the last third. Yes, but the first two thirds there was a
Are good?
lot of character development. There was a lot of dialogue. There was a lot of build up. There was a lot of really good acting. Uh, so like I'm a defender of the Power Rangers 2016 movie. I think it's gonna age beautifully, and people are gonna get upset that we didn't get more with that cast. But this, what a waste, And look, if they make another trilogy with Tom Holland, and in his storyline, if Madame Webb shows up and it's Dakota Johnson, I wouldn't mind. I personally wouldn't mind. I think sure, why not? No reason to recast her really.
Mhm.
Uh, but this not not great, not amazing, not worst thing. Like I think people are generally exaggerating. I don't think this is the worst thing that's ever happened to comic book movies. I do not think so at all.
No, well, I mean, if anything's gonna kill the comic book genre, it's not gonna be this. Like, no, this doesn't have the
Yeah,
legs to kill it. I think though
yeah.
it's more.
This will be a blip on the radar, honestly, because
I
it's flopping, man. It's flopping also.
I don't know, man. $52 million in 3 days ain't flopping.
But what's the budget?
80 mil.
It should have recouped that already. Weekend's over.
I mean, no, I'm not surprised it hasn't recouped it, but like I wouldn't be surprised if it gets, I think at least like 120 to 150, they're gonna be happy with it. Because there's no way they spent $20 million in the marketing budget.
Yeah, especially because have you seen it? Like everyone involved is trashing this.
Yeah, well, I mean, and I don't blame them. Like, okay, I think that part of the issue with this film and some of the delivery, some of the acting, like this is no one's best performance. That again,
Yeah.
we'll bank on them, but it's true. I think part of that is because of the interference. You mentioned that you watched a documentary about the making of Madame Webb, and I think part of that is because if you get actors and actresses of this quality, of this caliber, they're not signing up because this one could make me famous. They believe that okay, this property could grow and it could do something. I could get my own, film out of this and spin off, and we can branch out and do more, and yada yada. And um, I think once those contracts were signed, that's when everything went to shit. And I'm wondering if part of the problem with them not using, I think part of the problem with making this film is the fact that Sony doesn't have a Spider-Man. We don't have Tobey Maguire. Tom Holland belongs to Marvel. I think before ever making this film, they should have pay him whatever the fuck he wants, go to Andrew Garfield and say, you want to finish the story, kid? Here's a big fat fucking paycheck. We're building around you.
And call me crazy, a Miles Morales live action.
That's in my pitch. Movie ends with that. It ends with
Or or you
but
know, or crazy thought.
Mhm.
Use the characters from this live from the animated Spider-Verse and maybe get the voice actors to play them live action, maybe? Like,
Isn't the
you know,
Morales actor too old?
I don't know. But like, or just say it's from another universe. Like Jake Johnson could play Peter B. Parker live action. Like he would nail it. Like
Yeah,
no
no,
problem.
he would be perfect
Like
actually.
like yeah, like Nicholas Cage could play Spider-Man Noir live action, no problem,
But
Uh
imagine, God damn it, if they would plan these films out properly. Imagine if Madame Web ended with her being like, there's a kid, a new recruit. He's gonna be coming up soon. I think his name is Miles Morales. And like, imagine that. And imagine if she mentions Eddie Brock. We mentioned, oh, we're going to streamline, we're going to take Venom, put him in Morbius. He's in. I know he was a hunk of shit.
well,
Redeem that. Take Venom, take Andrew Garfield, Spider Man, mention Miles Morales, and tell him, Peter, there's one more thing. What? It's about Gwen. Then we're getting Spider Gwen. Like, just there's a way to fucking do this. Sony, if you're listening, I can fix it. Just fucking call me. Ah.
yeah, I don't want that
That's what makes
responsibility.
this movie. That's what makes me angry about this film. Is because I see all the wasted potential, and if I'm this pissed, I can only imagine how pissed off CJ Clark must be. Like she did not deserve this.
Yeah. Look, I everyone involved, sans Sony, y'all like I want them employed, want them to keep going. So I do want them to like continue doing other stuff, I like Dakota Johnson. I really like Dakota Johnson. I love the Suspiria remake. I love Cha Cha Real Smooth. I'd
It's
like to pretty
actually
much
our highest, our most played podcast episode.
because it's a great movie, or maybe people just prefer to hear Nikki over us, but it's a possibility. Yeah, I love Tetra Real Smooth. I love Peanut Butter Falcon. I love How to Be Single. I like her and stuff, And not gonna lie, I kind of like that this movie was focusing on a character that was in her early 30s. We don't see that very often. I feel like it's just teenagers or super old people. So it's kind of cool to see that, we got some early 30s, stuff is still happening to people.
Yeah.
And weirdly enough, I like that this movie featured like a mostly all women cast, and there was no focus on any kind of romance or getting a guy. There's like one scene where they're talking to some boys in a diner, but like that's it. It's kind of cool that like the whole movie's just about them. Um, you don't see that very often. It's just cool that they get to be the focus of an action kind of intense movie. It had some weird pacing issues. It had some weird effects. It's not a good movie. Like I can't sit here and be like that was a good movie. It was I don't know. I don't see myself rewatching it, but also like I'm not offended by it. I'm not insulted by it. I'm insulted by what Sony did to it. That I am insulted by. But also, I don't know, man. I am not been as I know we're still like finishing up like the Oscar things from last year, but this has not been so far. I'll tell you this: I prefer this over Argyle. If you can believe that.
What movie was worse, Argyle or Madame Webb? This year has given me three bad films already. It was Argyle, Madame Webb, Night
The
Swim.
pool, yeah, the pool movie. I saw Mean Girls. I didn't hate Mean Girls.
Oh yeah, and Saltburn. Saltburn was bad.
Saltburn was technically last year.
Saltburn I saw it this year, and it was still bad. We'll review that probably next week. Oh
Yeah.
no, I want to do Has Been Hotel.
Oh yeah, I haven't finished it. I need to finish it.
You haven't finished
I saw The Zone of Interest in theaters.
the Zone of
Um, it's one of the Oscar movies.
this.
I'll tell you this: it's
Mhm.
an experience I don't want to have again. It's a movie I don't want to review, and it's a movie that like, oof, I could. It's one of those.
But is it like in what capacity?
So don't look it up. Let me tell you.
Mhm.
It is a slice of life movie about this family living in a little house, and you get to see like their everyday stuff. You know how they wake up and they make dinner, they make breakfast, and they wash dishes and they wash their clothes, and then the dad goes to work, and then they come back, and oh, there's a dog, it's a cute little dog just walking around. And they are living in a house that's right next to a concentration camp. They are Nazis and they are listening to everything right next to it. And they don't show any of the madness that they're doing. You just listen to it in the background. And you have to see this family every day, just live their normal lives. And it is fucking insane. It is crazy. I cannot believe that the movie like this got made. I was so depressed. I was so like weirded out. It's a I don't want to call it beautiful because that would be a horrible way to refer to it, but it's an experience I don't want to have again. I rated it on my letterbox. I don't think I even added a review. I don't want to add a review to it.
You don't want to forget it?
It's intense. I'm never gonna forget it. But like it's not an experience that I would tell someone like, oh, watch it. Like, no, but like it it's an incredibly well-made movie. I'll say that.
I respect your opinion. I
Yeah,
I probably am not going to see it, but I respect your opinion.
it's crazy.
You had me at concentration camp.
Oh my God.
um, okay, let's talk about okay.
But yeah, back to Madame Web, I guess.
Can we talk about some things? What did you like in the movie that you wish you would have seen more of? Because I have a
I
few.
like the suit. I like the suits. Suits were cool.
Mhm.
I liked.
I
It's a
like
couple of moments. There's a couple of moments where they recreate panels from the comic book,
Mhm.
which I really like the Julia thing where she's hanging upside down, or some moment where Ezekiel Sims is like stuck to a wall and he's barefoot and he's still wearing like not the spider suit, but like his like clothes.
Yeah, like his normal
And it
suit.
looked, yeah, and it looked exactly like the comic. It looked really cool.
Yeah.
Um, like I like the actresses. I like how they act. I like how they play off each other. I You can tell that they had chemistry and you can tell that they knew each other kind of sucked that they were not given anything interesting or funny to say.
Mhm.
That's what I thought kind of sucked. I don't like that they made them teenagers. Like these are all actresses that are in their mid-20s. Like, what's wrong with making them college students? Uh,
I agree with you there.
yeah. I mean, I think the movie loses like a little bit of believability in that sense because like they didn't need to be high schoolers. I mean, I don't know. What else? There's a couple of moments that I do like. Like I do like Cassie and Ben's chemistry. Like we don't get to see these a lot. Like you don't get to see like work like coworker friends, even like ones like this where it's like it's a guy and a girl. We don't see those very often where they just like completely platonic, they get along well, they have great chemistry, they work well together.
They're
You can
truly
tell it, yeah, like they're super homies, and we don't see those very often. I like that you can tell that they had like a history. I like what's his name? Adam Scott. I like Adam Scott. Although every time they called him Ben, I immediately thought of like, he was Ben in Parks and Recreation. So
Mhm.
that's from my mind where every time. Um I think everyone in my theater went like, holy shit, Emma Roberts is in this? Like the
Yeah.
second that she showed up, we're like, what the fuck? She was not part of the marketing at all. What the fuck?
No,
Um
she's in a basically a glorified cameo appearance. I think she's in it for like maybe a minute, if that.
yeah.
Um, I really like the deja
Ah,
vu powers where like she gets killed and so she goes back. I just wish
yeah.
there had been some consequences to that. Like remember in Happy Death Day, every time she dies
Yeah.
and comes back, she's a little more injured, she's a little more like beat down. Imagine something like that, where it's like she comes back, but it's like she can't keep doing it. Like there is a run out sequence. And then you know what you do? You know what you do? You keep doing that shit where she keeps coming back after she gets fatally injured. And then you know what you do at the end of the movie? She gets stabbed, but she doesn't blip. She doesn't go back because she can't anymore because she's too injured. There's no more
Yeah.
replays. There's no more deja vus, no more do-overs. It's either we win or we die. This is the last
Yeah.
time we get to do this.
Yeah. Sorry, I was laughing.
Wonder
It's
who
just
included that. Sorry.
when you mentioned Happy Death Day, I just remember there's a scene in Happy Death Day to You in the second one
Uh-huh.
where she already danced the dance. She already knows what's gonna happen, and she's walking through the she's walking through the quad with the two guys behind her, and she's just like fucking determined, like not taking any shit, and she bumps into the guy. And then she goes like, "Hey man, hey dude," and then she immediately goes, "You are gay," and just like,
I don't remember that. I believe you. I just
oh god,
Happy Death Day.
it's my favorite part where she goes, "You are gay," and just like leaves.
Uh,
Oh god,
what else?
yeah, yeah. What else did you like? Did you like the sequel seam Spider-Man suit?
The honestly, I kind of like it if only it was for like, an actual bad guy that didn't that like, doesn't already have a costume. Like Ezekiel Sims, as far as I'm aware, dresses in a suit. That's his like go-to bad guy suit.
Yeah,
I'm guessing they gave him a Terminator Spider-Man suit just so that way they could have like pops, which is weird because when I looked up Madame Webb, let me see, Madame
yeah.
Webb.
Because like the Madame Web that I know, like I grew up watching the '90s cartoon show, and like when Madame Web showed up, she was like this older, old woman, and she had like the visor, and she had like the chair, and like that's the Madame Web that I know. Uh,
When you look up Madam Web merchandise, you're not finding shit. Not even pops. And they fucking pop everything. Like, so that should be fucking concerning. The fact that they don't have a Madam Web pop series for this, which I thought, okay, okay, let's pull back. So when Marvel was first deciding their MCU like universe, they ran a test to see, okay, what characters do kids like the most because fucking toys. So who won? Iron Man, the dude in the suit of armor, and the Hulk. I'm shocked. They made their decision based on the wallet, not necessarily on who would have been the best characters to really start. The MCU still worked. That said,
yeah,
the fact that they had Madam Web and three Spider women in this, I would have assumed, and Ezekiel Sims wore a shitty Spider-Man costume. Like I would have assumed, oh, okay, like they're doing that for merchandise sake. They're gonna have a bunch of pops of each of them and variations. Like instead of having 5, you can do 8 because the girls aren't always in their costumes. But no, but no, they don't even have fucking Funko Pops. God damn it. Um, but I did like his costume. I also did like if there's one sequence that had some balls to it, I would say it was probably the diner sequence.
Oh, with the Britney Spears song?
Yeah, toxic, and then he poisons one of them. Like that was fun, but I wish
Not
they.
gonna lie, when he grabbed Sydney Sweeney and like snapped her neck, that felt pretty like
Damn.
that felt damn, yeah, like
But see, they should have had more of that. They should have more of that. Like there was some practical stuff, like the part where he jumps with the fireworks going off behind him. That actually looked kind of cool. I like that where he's just like super jump like this.
yeah,
Like I'm cool with that. Like there are moments of greatness in this film, but there's too many moments of turdness in this film.
damn. You know what? I looked it up. Morbius didn't get a Funko Pop either.
Which is nuts because why not? You would think if you're making comic book characters and making them into movies, part of that is, and I'm sorry to say this, folks, money. You want to sell shirts, you want to sell toys, you want to sell all this merchandise that way, theoretically, you could do more with it. I'm shocked that they're not. Oh, wait a motherfucking second.
What?
It's because Disney owns the merchandise rights. That's why there's hardly any merch.
There's a ton of Venom merch.
Well, okay, they're still gonna cash in on fucking Venom. Venom and Spider-Man are the only exceptions. They're okay. They stopped making Fantastic Four comics and merch when they couldn't get the rights back for the Fantastic Four.
So you're telling me that if I walk into a Hot Topic, there won't be any Madame Web
You're
merch.
gonna find one shirt that has the movie poster on it. From what I can tell, that's all I can find. Is
Jesus
the
Christ.
is the shirt with the movie poster on it, which is the laziest, the fucking laziest merchandise that you can have.
Ugh,
Yeah,
yeah. Jesus Christ.
you're better off
Speaking
finding
of
merchandise.
Fantastic Four, what do you think? Speaking of Fantastic Four, what do you think of the cast?
Oh, I like it. Vanessa Kirby's a little young, but they'll make it work. They'll make her look a little older and Pedro Pascal a little younger.
I think I think it should have been someone younger instead of Pedro Pascal. And I like Pedro Pascal, but you know,
Maybe it should have been John Krasinski.
no, it shouldn't have been John
No,
Krasinski.
no. That's good. Who's
You
the
know
guy
who I
that
feel.
No, go ahead, go ahead.
Wait, what? You
No,
know
you
who's having like the best sleep of her life?
Ooh.
Emily Blunt. Just like, can you imagine being like, fucking finally, they're gonna leave me alone? Just like, ah,
You
come
fuck
here,
off.
John.
Fuck off.
Come here. Yeah.
It was Nando V Movies. He actually proposed, and I like this idea, William Jackson Harper as Reed Richards. I actually really like that casting.
He would have been good. Somebody suggested pretty much like the cast from Atlanta to be like the 4 of them. So Donald Glover, like Keith Stanfield, Sassy Beats, and God, I forgot his name, Paperboy. Like it should have been the 4 of them. I'm like, shut up. Like, yes, it would have been awesome, but like,
That's too
yeah,
perfect. We can't do
it's
that.
yeah, it's a little too perfect. Somebody suggested the Always Sunny cast, which I also think it would have been very funny. Um,
I remember that one. But who would have been
yeah.
the couple then?
Uh, the ones who are not brothers. That's it. The ones who are not siblings. Because 2 of them are siblings, like in the show.
Oh,
Uh,
I was like, wait, the one that's Sue, isn't she their sister or she's just their friend?
it's just it's one of their sisters.
Oh, okay.
But oh God, what was the one that somebody mentioned us read that I thought was a really good idea? Shit, I'll remember in a second. Um, there was a lot of like theories of who was gonna be the Human Torch. I heard Zac Efron. I heard God, what was the other one? I heard Dacre Montgomery. I heard like between the 2 of them. They casted Eddie from Stranger Things, which I don't think is a bad choice. A lot of people were mad about that. I don't think it's a bad choice. I think it'd be pretty
Why
fun.
were they mad about it?
Eh, I don't know.
I mean,
The thing that I'm genuinely surprised is that they cast Cousin to play the Thing, and I just couldn't believe that Marvel casted a Jewish actor to play a Jewish character. Like that's out of character.
are you being sarcastic or are you being serious? I can't tell.
I'm being sarcastic. Like I can't believe they actually did it. Like props.
About it?
Like prop. That's never happened before. Like they casted a Jewish character to play a Jewish actor.
Oh, okay, okay.
Like never happened before. Thank God. No, Cousin's gonna crush it. Like Cousin's gonna be awesome as a thing.
Oh, I'm sure.
Uh,
It'll probably be fully CGI, but I mean, if they could pull out Groot and Rocket, like that's what I went to when I heard people bitching. Like, I'm one, like they were like, oh, I hope it's not all CGI. They got to do it practically. I'm like, no, they made me cry over a fucking raccoon. They can do it with CGI and they'll be fine.
they're gonna do the thing right. I don't
I'm
doubt
not.
it.
But who do you think is
Yeah.
going to be the villain?
Oh,
I
probably
hope
Doctor Doom and probably it's probably gonna be Henry Cavill.
you know. I wish him well. I wish him well. I wish
Yeah.
you nothing but love. Oh. And I can't sing, but you know what?
Yeah, no, it's gonna be it's gonna be good. It's gonna be good. Like
I'm not worried.
I can't believe I'm finally hyped for a Marvel thing again. I can't believe I'm finally am. I think
Oh,
I'm
you're
more
not
hyped
happy with
about
Deadpool?
I'm not hyped for Deadpool at all.
Oh, that's
Okay.
right. We discussed this last time that you're a little salty about Wolverine returning.
I mean, look, here's the thing. If they show Wolverine and it's Hugh Jackman and he's in the yellow suit and he gets a really cool pose and then immediately he gets killed, my faith is back in the movie.
They're not gonna do that. Dude,
They're
the marketing that would be suicide on their part if they
it'd be ballsy. It'd be ballsy.
that would be suicidal on Marvel's part. They would lose all credibility if they said Deadpool. That's the implication. It's like Ant-Man and the Wasp. There's an implication that she's going to be in a good chunk of the film, and in the second one, she was. And the third one, a little more messy. Um,
I don't
but
know. Remember the beginning of the Suicide Squad where they kill like half of the half of the cast?
that's because it wasn't called the Suicide Squad featuring Captain Boomerang.
He was
If they
part
had,
of the first Suicide Squad.
if they had, oof. Ugh.
Yeah.
But okay, Madam Web.
No.
What?
Yeah.
Okay, and I know it's easy to say because we don't have the studio over our heads. What are some things that you would have done differently in this film, do you think?
I would have had the girls in their suits.
What else?
I would have done the Terminator storyline. And I would have mic'd the fucking stage. I wouldn't have overdubbed the villain every single second.
I
Oh God.
that was rewrites after the fact. They were like, "Oh,
Yeah.
go back and re-record." Just
I
fucking.
would have trusted the filmmaker and I would have been like, that's your vision. Let me help you get there. I wouldn't have been because they did so many mandated. They rewrote where the movie took place like 3 times because they kept getting confused. God, they couldn't decide if this was gonna be Garfield or Holland Spider-Man, so they just decided to do neither. And I would have done fucking something else. I would have done a Miles Morales live action instead of this, instead of Morbius.
I have a curiosity question.
Yeah.
What if the trailer leads you to believe that they need to protect Spider-Man's parents, but they never tell you who? And then in the film, you find out that it's Miles Morales' parents.
See, that would have been cool. That
I
would have been
love that.
something, you know? Also, because the MCU has teased us like twice with Miles Morales, and like they
But
haven't
they
done
need
anything about that.
permission from Marvel to do it.
Oh God.
I
No,
mean,
the MCU, I
but they
mean.
need no, I mean the MCU needs permission from Sony to do it. Sony.
Well, don't tease me, just do it. Just fucking do it. Like it's
Dude, I'm beginning. Okay, so the writers, the main two that I'm gonna go ahead and blame for this fucked up film is
I
Matt
don't.
and Burke Shapeless.
I don't. I still blame the studio because look,
Damn, Alex.
those people wrote this the what's it called? They
More.
wrote, well, they wrote Morbius, they wrote the Power Rangers 2016, they wrote Dracula Untold, they wrote Gods of Egypt and The Last Witch Hunter.
It's
You
their
know,
fault.
like
I'm gonna somehow they fucked up Morbius and they still convinced Sony to like, no, no, trust us. One more try. We got this.
oh please, Morbius was dead on arrival.
But it didn't have to be. Think of it like fucking Deadpool. The odds were completely against it. They cut the budget for shits and giggles, and Ryan Reynolds had to be like, ah, fuck, I can't use my gun. All right, I'll use my swords for a little bit. Like Deadpool had to fight an uphill fight, but it won. Daredevil, I would argue, had to fight an uphill fight and won because of passionate actors, but I'd also argue passionate writers and passionate directors. This film was sorely lacking in the writing department. What George Clooney said, you can never make a good movie out of a bad script. And this script was shit. I will die on that hill. Like, no, I
Yeah.
completely blame Matt and Burke and the studio, but mostly those two, because if they gave us hunks of shit like Morbius, Dracula Untold, and Gods of Egypt, why do you think that they can do this? I want to know what dirt do they have on the Sony execs to keep making it happen? Do they have pictures of the head exec doing coke off of a hooker's butt or what? Like what do you have? I need to know.
Look, Kevin Smith said it better than anyone could. He
What?
goes, well, he's a guy and he's in Hollywood. And when you're a guy in Hollywood, you kind of just fail upwards. So
Oh, this is
because
horseshit.
he was talking about producer John Peters. He was like, so this guy was a makeup artist for Barbara Streisand, and then he became a producer because when you're a dude in Hollywood, you just fail upwards. Um, yeah. I'm gonna forget about this movie in 2 weeks. I gave it 1.5 star. Um,
I
I
give
don't hate it. I just don't think about it. Simple as that.
I give it an F minus because I see the potential of what could have been good, but it wasn't. Did you know at one point you could see the boom mic in one of the shots?
I did see that, yeah.
Yeah. I think that
You know what is my genuine like big question about this movie? There are two scenes where someone hands Dakota Johnson a can of Pepsi
Mhm.
and she doesn't know what to do with it. Like, see if you can find somebody posting that scene because she kind of like holds it and then like passes it from one hand to the other and like plays with the top part, but never opens it. And then she does the same thing when she's at the barbecue slash baby shower, and she's like just holding it and like putting her hand on the thing, but doesn't open it. Like, I know she's a nepo baby, but like, has she ever opened a can of soda before? Like it was driving me insane. And
She had to open so many cans that they were like, "This is the last one." So she's like, "What the fuck do you want me to do with it?" Just
maybe,
and like you can't open it. I'm like, fine, fine. Gee, I wonder
maybe.
who paid for half this movie. Fucking Pepsi. Explain that to me. How the fuck does Pepsi own a fireworks warehouse?
See, Jimmy said the same thing, and I thought that it was just a Pepsi sign on top of a random like fireworks place. Which first of all, if they knew at the beginning, like, oh, this place is a madhouse, like it's full of fireworks, like wouldn't you have like the bomb squad, like clear that out,
Dude,
maybe
it's
like
New
close
York
off
in
the
the 90s.
perimeter?
It's New. Oh wait, actually, it's New York post 2001. Yeah, they should have
Yeah,
handled that shit pretty quick. Actually, now that I think about
yeah, they should have had like would have closed the whole sector, put up a perimeter. Uh,
it, fucking
yeah, I don't
Mike
know.
Epps got killed.
Yeah, I do like. There's one joke. There's one moment where the girls are in the woods
Uh,
and they're talking and they go like you probably like hang out in like a pool with Martha Stewart and then Senior Sweeney goes like so sad about Martha Stewart.
like, yeah. Man.
It's like like the 2000s, the 2000s.
But see, I also feel like they didn't do enough of those references. None of them busted out a Game Boy or something. Like the most we
No,
got
because
was
the
the like
because
Orange
the
Mountain Dew. That was the only thing we got.
there was a moment where there's a guy playing a PSP in the subway. which it's a Sony movie, which of course.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Give them PlayStations. Like fucking make it in the 90s and they have PlayStations. What year did the PlayStation 1 come out?
I don't know, like 2000, 2001. No, like 2002. No, the PS2 was out by 2000. Like no,
95. The PlayStation 1
95.
came out in 1995. There you
Yeah,
go. Have them playing with it at one point.
yeah,
Sony made Jumanji. Have them run through the theater and look, Jumanji's playing.
yeah. I don't know if you know this, but there's a moment in The Last of Us Part Two where you're playing as Ellie and you like get behind this woman and she's playing a PS Vita,
Oh, and
like a portable PlayStation. I know she's not. I don't know what she's playing, but she's playing something, and just she comes up behind her and like fucking kills her, and you get to like sit there for a moment and look at the game, and the game is still going, and it's just wild that Sony just did that. Like it's like oh, it's a pandemic. There's little food, but your PS Vita still works.
don't
That
worry about it.
that fucking console that bombed, and it was only good to play Persona 4 until it was ported on the Switch. Like fuck you.
Jesus.
Oh God. I say this as someone that, will keep giving Sony their money. Okay. Well, we gave our scores, we gave our thoughts. I don't know what else we could say without repeating ourselves. I'm gonna forget this movie happened.
Go
But it's
on
there.
the
It
YouTube channel
exists.
where I rewrite this goddamn piece of shit.
I don't think it's gonna derail any careers. It's there. It
Good.
existed. Yeah.
Those two producers should have their careers derailed. Like hard.
It's guys, they're gonna fail upwards. So we'll see. Anyway, that was Madame Webb. Thank you so much for joining us. Next week, what are we doing next week?
Uh, I'm hoping that we review whatchamacallit.
Saltburn?
Huh?
Saltburn?
I was hoping Has Been Hotel or Saltburn. Either way, I'll fist fight you on both. I don't care.
Oh God. Why do you want a fist fight over Hasbin Hotel?
No, I'm sorry, not Has Been Hotel. Has Been Hotel, I'll be really happy. It puts me in a great fucking mood. I've listened to that musical like twice at least. Um Saltburn,
Yeah.
it's a hunk of shit. Not a hunk of shit, that's a lie. It's shock value. But we can argue about that next week if you want.
Oh my God. Okay, we'll get to that where I will defend it for the piece of gold that it is. Anyway, thank you so much for joining us. My name was Chema.
That's a golden turd. My name's Eddie.
It's golden either way. And this was the rollback, signing off with a reminder that hopefully Eddie will let me have the final word for one fucking time in the show. Anyway, thank you so much for joining us. Goodbye, everybody.
Word.
Oh God damn it. There you go.